That was all very, very odd. So let me just make sure that I am streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Just bear with me, folks. Just bear with me. This is a most unusual Daily Brexit. This little bit here. Just want to explain what happened, because I imagine people were wondering. I was, and just one sec. Let me just get everything working. So a bit of an unusual. Are we streaming on Facebook? Just bear with me, people, and I will explain what happened there. I think I just asked Rodri to give me a bell back so that I can explain it to him as well. I do apologize to Matt and Dan and the caller who just called in as well, and to all the folks who've made some great comments. I thought those comments deserve some attention. Let me just make sure that we are streaming. It looks as though we're streaming on Facebook. And well. I do apologize to Matt and Dan and the call. Okay. Hey, Dan. Hello, mate. Hey, Dan. Hello, Dan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That was very odd. That was very, very odd. It's the first time it's ever happened during this show. Roger is there too. Hey, Rodders. That was the most peculiar thing that just happened. The power in my flat just went off. The main fuse went. It was like it was like I got a power surge. I'd never had that before during a show. It was like we've had a power surge here, and my computer went off. I actually got an electric shock in my ears through my cans. Only a little one. They're still working, and thank goodness it didn't blow my cans. But that was very, very strange. We were talking about some interesting characters, not least of all the war criminal, Tony Blair, who a lot of people in the comments, by the way, think should be strung up for some of the atrocities that he's put various, or an entire nation through, frankly. We're talking about the debacle that was the Chilcot inquiry, and so on and so forth. All sorts of interesting characters were named tonight. I was talking about Ali Campbell, another war criminal, in my opinion, at the beginning of this show. Anyway, very, very odd. Just as I was beginning to just take a few comments from you folks, all of a sudden the entire power in my flat went off. I wondered if my machine had been blown up in my computer. I was a bit worried about it, but fortunately not. But yeah, I just thought that was a bit odd, and I wanted to come on and just say, because that's not the way that I conclude a show. Far from it. And also it's just a bit odd. It's just a bit odd. I don't know. I do wonder if people are messing with us. Hold on a sec. Let me just. There's Dan. He's sorting out his organics at the moment in his garden.
Sorting my son's chickens out.
Go on, he's sorting out your chickens. Look, I want to say a big cheers to you, Dan, and to Matt as well, if he's watching, and quite rightly, probably having a pint or whatever. But that was just very, very strange. The power just went, and I flicked the switch and got the power back on in the flat, and here we are again, just to sort of conclude tonight. But I apologise for that. I just wanted you all to know. Go on.
Ollie, we got the message. There's been a power outage in your flat, probably concocted by Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, who knows?
Dan Dan is on his farm feeding his children with organic chicken, which is to be commended. I think that's absolutely superb, mate. Which regiment did you serve in?
First Battalion in the Queen's Lancashire Regiment.
Absolutely superb.
Is this going out live?
It is. Yeah, we're streaming. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. With First Battalion, Queen's Lancashire Regiment.
do you want
an absolute superb battalion? Had some great time with them.
Dan, can't wait to meet you with Matt. Let's do it at the Special Forces Club and plan the way forward in terms of let's take a grip over bloody Parliament.
Well, to be fair, I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but we're already on that route. Like I said, there's over 100 veteran leaders. We will maintain the pressure. We will do it peacefully, organised, professionally and controlled. We don't want, by under no circumstances at all, to re-spark the troubles. There is a way around that as well if needed. The government just have to, put the big boys' pants on, sit down and sort it out, which it's strange how us veterans can do it. But having said that, a lot of us have turned to business, working with other countries in big business. So I think half the time, I think we've got a better idea than the government has.
Well, that's no surprise there.
Okay, all right. Right. Well, I guess I'm going to wrap it now because, but I just wanted folks to know what was going on, and also, look, Dan, please, can we do this again? There's another big date. I did have one last question actually for you guys, because you mentioned I think the 7th of June and another date in June, but a lot of folks are saying the 29th of June is a massive protest. What's that?
It's going to be a big. It's going to be a big one. Is that basically that's where the Mad Viking, and I'll mention his name on here because it's out there enough. Dean Cumberpatch. Yeah, he's heavily involved with all the veteran motorcycle clubs, as well as that with the civilian clubs with the MCs. There's a lot of veterans in them. So they're going to provide the noise from the bikes. We are RVing.
What's that?
At RV is your rendezvous point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at 10 o'clock at Hyde Park. And then all we will say is we're going to take up residence outside a prominent location in London.
Right.
And we're going to stay there until we get results.
Really? What, you're going to camp out?
Yeah, everyone's bringing the sleeping bags. So them that do support the veterans...
That's on the 29th of June. That's on the 29th of June.
29th of June.
I'm going to come. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to do live streaming from there, from London. I'm going to get involved in that and try and cover it and give as much... to it as possible. That sounds really cool, and I completely agree. Everybody needs to unite. Sir, I completely understand the brotherhood that is the military, and quite right that things should be kept internal with the military as much as possible. Certainly in terms of how to service the military, for crying out loud. What I was going to say though, Dan, was, mate, you know what? There's a load of civvies. As Rodders said as well, there's a load of civvies that are completely behind you guys. And I think that the biggest problem, I bet you're getting bugger all coverage from the BBC. For example, on the 18th, I bet you got bugger all...
To be fair, they covered us. We ended up storming Manchester and we ended up storming London. And basically, if it were ourselves... We was personally thanked by the head of security.
Dan, that is absolute bollocks for the simple reason I didn't hear it down here in London. I would have taken any petition, all your support, right to the bloody house.
We're on all news coverages. We've actually recorded it, so they put it out there live on local and on national. So did RTV. It's on there on the clips, was the 18th.
Matey, we need to dominate the House of Lords and the House of Commons. Let's do it en masse.
That will be coming on a set date. But I must stress everything. People say peaceful protests don't work. Well, to be fair, I've been doing peaceful protests. I was involved with the DFLA and putting 80,000 on the streets last year. And not one arrest. Not one arrest. And there's a public...
Yeah. Do you know, had same purpose on the first Para March. And there were 30 Old Bill looking after 5,000 marchers. Key thing, mate, is you get in touch with Matt. Let's coordinate forces, not just on the streets, but also in the House.
100%.
Let's
guys,
crack on. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Dan, you've got an open invite here. Whenever you want to pop on, before any of these events, please know that you can come in. We can do a show. We'll do a whole show, and try and promote the event as well. And any news, any new news on any of this, I'd like to hear about it and to convey the messages.
Well, the closest two now that we're all starting to push now is obviously in Scotland, in Edinburgh, Rolling Thunder Scotland and Justice for Northern Ireland.
And that's
happening on the 7th. It's going to be a big turnout. Everything's been cleared through the authorities and the police. I mean, because to be fair, we police ourselves. When we did Manchester on the 18th, there was only 2 police officers. There more than likely a lot more in plain clothes, but we policed ourselves, not one arrest, everything were fine. But we took it to the wire. The one after that will be the 8th in Hull with Justice for Northern Ireland veterans, run by a Million Veterans March. And that will be a good one as well with Nicola Battey. So out there's a lot of more coming, but by all means, I'll come on and release them nearer the time. But please believe me when I say we're united. We are united. There will be a meeting on the 15th. I'm not going to disclose where that is or what time it will take part. But that's then when we'll put things in. But we're planned a year in advance, all the way up to if what's needed is the big stop, where we will bring the nation to a stop. The public will be on behind us, supporting us, but we'll hit big business that funds the government. And it will be done peacefully, but it will be done strategically. In the army, we used to call it the 7 Ps. And yet you'll get some left-wingers say, we're not organised, we're not prepared, they've no idea. Prior planning and preparation prevents piss-poor performance.
Yeah.
And there's no piss-poor performance about us.
God bless you, man. God bless you, Dan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. You've been watching the Daily Brexit. I'm Olly Connelly. I would like to thank Matt Hellyer and Dan McDevitt and Viscount St Davids. Back tomorrow. Robin Horsley coming in, I think, tomorrow for a bit of an update on what's going on with the Tory leadership nonsense. Can we trust any of them? I mean, listening to those guys, clearly not. Well, I say that. Actually, no, there's that veteran, he's an interesting one. And Johnny Mercer's an interesting one to have a chat with. I don't think is he running? I don't think he's running. Lots of food for thought here. And then UKIP on Thursday. I think that Katie Fanning is coming in. UKIP NEC to have a chat about what's going on there. I'll keep covering this. I'll talk to Dan again off the back of this show. Maybe he can come in on next Thursday, which will be, I think, the 6th, to talk about the 7th and the 8th, those two events. My machine is really weird now. It's doing some funny things. I can't do stuff that I would normally do here. Yes, it's really cocked up. It's really cocked up, my streaming software, actually. I'm not supposed to be showing the screen that I'm showing now at all, but anyway, there you go. That was very peculiar. That little outage there. But anyway, look, there you go. All right. God bless you. Big cheers for tuning in. Please share that main show, yeah? And, hey, here's to us. And bugger Plutarch and bugger Tony Blair, yeah? All right. Okay. See you tomorrow, 7 o'clock.